Hi, this is Ishita Datta, a legal intern at Lexis and Company, and today I will be talking about judicial separation under the Muslim law. So, judicial separation is a legal instrument by which the court orders the married couple to stay apart from each other for 1 year usually to give the spouses the time to introspect their marriage and their decision of divorce. So during this period, the couples are ordered by the court to have no contact with each other and stay physically, mentally, and emotionally detached from each other. This arrangement allows the spouses to find out if they can live apart happily and willingly. Moreover, it gives the individual ample time to analyze and introspect and the dispute and their relationship in their separate space. Ultimately, a judicial separation facilitates a more rational decision to be taken by the parties seeking a divorce. So, unlike the Hindu law, which has a separate section dealing with the judicial separation, the Muslim law lacks a codified provision for the judicial separation. In fact, there is no such concept of judicial separation under the Muslim law. Instead, the legislation is designed in accordance with the Holy Quran and the Hadiths. The Hadiths are a collection of traditions that consist of daily practices and sayings of Prophet Muhammad. So, what are the grounds for judicial separation? So, though the Muslim law doesn't have any codified provision for judicial separation as such, however, over the years, the courts have declared judicial separation before the parties divorce. So, this instrument helps them decide in their best interest. The grounds for judicial separation have been given under Section 2 of the Dissolution of Muslims Marriage Act, and they are as follows. First is absence of husband. The woman can file a plea of judicial separation if her husband is missing or if she is unaware of his whereabouts for a continuous period of 4 years or more. Second is failure of husband to provide maintenance. The wife can file a plea of judicial separation if her husband neglects to give her maintenance by not providing for her needs and requirements for a period lasting 2 years or more. Third is imprisonment of husband. So if the husband has been convicted for a crime punishable with a minimum of 7 years of imprisonment, then the wife can file for a judicial separation. Fourth is the impotency of husband. The wife can file a plea of judicial separation if her husband is impotent and hasn't disclosed such information before or during their marriage. Fifth is insanity, leprosy or venereal disease. The wife can file a plea of judicial separation if her husband has proven to be insane for 2 years or more or is suffering from leprosy or contagious venereal disease. Sixth is repudiation of marriage by wife. If the wife was married off to her husband before attaining 15 years of age and has repudiated herself from the marriage till 18 years of age, then the wife can file a plea for judicial separation. Seventh is cruelty of husband. If the husband habitually tortures his wife and beats her, in other words, he is treating her with cruelty, then the wife can also seek a judicial separation. Eighth is suppose the husband has filed to fulfill his marital obligations like not taking care of his wife and children's physical and mental and emotional needs. In that case, the wife can file for judicial separation. So now I will be talking about the landmark cases. First is Miss Jordan Dingay versus S.S. Chopra. What were the facts? The wife and the husband, a tribal Christian and Sikh, respectively, who were married under the Indian Christian Marriage Act 1872 in the year 1975. The wife sought judicial separation in 1980 under Section 18, 19 and 22 of the Indian Divorce Act 1869, and the ground for seeking judicial separation was the impotence of husband breaking down the marriage irretrievably. So the issue here is what are the valid grounds to seek for married couples to seek judicial separation. The judgment was brought about that the High Court passed a decree of judicial separation on the grounds of cruelty but rejected the plea for nullifier of marriage, for example, which is divorce. The ground on which the wife had sought divorce was the husband's impotence, which was breaking down the marriage irretrievably. The court also laid down all the grounds on which a Muslim wife can file for a judicial separation under the Muhammadan law. So the analysis of this case would be that it is a landmark case because it laid down the grounds for judicial separation for Muslims and it gave a certain amount of protection to Muslim wives. The court also held that the laws relating to judicial separation, divorce and nullity of marriage are far-fetched from being uniform. Therefore, it is suggested that the legislature must intervene in such a matter to provide a uniform civil code of marriage and divorce. The second case would be Yusuf Rothar versus Swaramma. Saurama. So the facts of the case were, in this case, the plaintiff was married off to her husband even before she could attain puberty. Soon after the wedding, the bride moved into her husband's house, and the next day the defendant left for Coimbatore, and where he was running a radio dealer's business. So a month of sojourns in the husband's house, the girl returned to her parents' house, and this separation lasted for a continuous period of 2 years or more, during which the defendant admittedly failed to maintain his wife. The defendant alleged that he was willing to keep her with him, but the wife refused to return to the conjugal home. So subsequently, a litigation for dissolution of marriage was filed, and the trial court dismissed the suit, but the subordinate judges court granted a decree for dissolution of the marriage, for which the husband filed an appeal. So this appeal challenged the validity of the ruling of the lower appellate court, and what were the issues of the case law. So whether the wife can claim dissolution of marriage for the failure of husband to maintain the wife for 2 years. So the judgment was brought about that the appeal failed and was dismissed, and held that the failing to provide maintenance to the wife is a ground for dissolution of marriage. So additionally, the court also decided that even if the wife left the marital home without reasonable cause, the husband is still obligated to maintain his wife. So on failing to do so, the wife can file a plea for judicial separation. So what is the process of judicial separation? So obtaining a plea for judicial separation is like obtaining a divorce decree. So since judicial separation is considered the last step in a divorce, the spouse who seeks judicial separation has to file a plea for the same before the district or family court by specifying the ground or the grounds on which the petition is being claimed. If the grounds are recognized under the law, or the court finds the grounds justifiable, then the court approves the plea and orders judicial separation, after which the spouses need to live separately for a year, usually, giving them time to introspect their marriage. So in conclusion, I would like to say that though there is no codified legislation for judicial separation, the concept has been realized in several landmark cases dealing with divorce or nullity of marriage. So the benefits from judicial separation are subject to the nature of the dispute and the married couple. However, the court needs to give the couple such time to introspect their decision and relationship. Thank you so much.